So for something like this here, we've got to be able to decode what it's actually asking me. Now, it's a company. I'll just reframe for you. It's a company that started in debt. Okay? Because Y is value in millions, and then X is time in years. So I know it starts in debt because, well, look where it is. It's below the X axis. So they started in debt. Now, the framing of the question, if you don't like the way that it's worded, what I can tell you is what it's asking is essentially from the date this company started, and again, they started in debt, how much money did they make, or how much profit or value? I guess it's a company valuation, so it's different. It's not profit, it's a valuation, which is a whole other thing. You can talk about it in finance next year. But what it's saying is from where it started at time of zero, it was a negative value in debt. I'm going to have to find that first. I'm then going to look for the value 8 years later and then figure out what's the value of the company, how much did it increase by over that time period. So I'm not sure where 8 years is on this graph. I know it's after this guy here, right? I know it's after that. Jens, can you just zip it for a sec? I know it's after the middle there. How do I know that? How do I know that the 8 is going to be on the descent? Where am I getting that from? Well, that is A, that is H, that is K. My H is positive 6.3. 8 would come after that. You have to know that, right? You have to know when I see something like this that format is AHK, and this is the axis of symmetry, and that means that what was the peak of the value of the company? What was the highest value? Yeah? 2.4 million. How do I know that? Because it's K. It's the ceiling. It's the max. Okay? These are things that I have to know given like a scenario here. So when it asks for how much did it increase over the first 8 years, it started in debt, which means I can't just assume that the company's value is zero because it wasn't. The valuation of the company was we're in deep doo-doo right now and we've got to dig our way out. So we got to figure out what was the debt load they started with, what's the value of the company 8 years later. And then, Cole, we were talking about this here. You're going to, and this is where everyone got this wrong and why I kind of took it off a test, because like literally everyone would get it wrong. The value that's growing, when I find like, let's just say -2 and +1, how much did the company grow by? What's the question asking? Well, it dug itself out by 2 million, plus they valued themselves as an extra 1 million. So I'm not going to go -2 plus 1. No, I'm going to say that they've increased by $3 million, right? Because it's from the debt load to the time I'm looking at now. So you've got to wrap your brain around the fact that functions can tell me information. Right now, I'm looking for a y value in 2 locations. I'm looking for a y when x is 0. I'm looking for a y when x is 8. So my first operation would be -0.1. My x is 0. And the rest of the rule is there. I'm just going to bedmass this out, right? Brackets, multiply, add. That's basically it. Solving for y is a joke. This is true going forward with every function. Solving for y is always a joke. Solving for x is a huge pain. A lot of people were going through that, trying h plus or minus using the formula. I don't need to use that formula if I'm solving for a y. Literally just need to know bedmass. So then I'm going to do version 1, looking at time is 0. And I'm going to do it again later on, where time is equal to 8, still looking for a y, because I'm looking for the value of the company at that point. Again, just bedmass. Do the brackets, square it, multiply it, add them together. Then you're going to be able to compare how much it grew by. Okay? So Try that one on your own. You should be able to bed mass these guys out, right? Negative 0.1. I'll do this one real quick. 6.3. 39.69 plus 2.4. Y will be equal to negative 3.969 plus 2.4 gives me y is equal to, let's just say, negative 1.57. So that's what this is here. So 1.57 million is where they started. Now you've got to figure out what is it going to be when the time is 8, and then add that to the value of the company 8 years later.